Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lilywhite Lane and welcome along to your day after show for Tottenham Hotspur's 3-1 loss to Arsenal in the North London derby yesterday. And look, I thought I'd come on here for the day after show. I thought it'd feel a little bit better today. Thought I'd feel a little bit better today, as I say, not in such a bad mood as I was yesterday. But in all honesty, as a matter of fact, I feel worse. I honestly feel worse. It's been a miserable, rainy, horrible Monday, as I say, getting bantered by Arsenal and Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans as well, right? This is something I want to touch on. Why do they hate us so much? The only reason they hate us so much is because they need a big club to be rivals with. Because their rivals are Fulham, because they used to be on the same level. They used to be on the same level before they got bought and all the glory hunting fans came in. That's the only reason they treat us like rivals and absolutely hate us. We don't like them at all, don't get me wrong. But they despise us. They absolutely hate us. And the only reason they do is because they've only been a big club for quite a while. They need a big rival. So they just thought, Arsenal, Spurs, we'll go with Spurs. Because, you know, they're an easy target, right? So that's the only real reason Chelsea hate us. The only reason. Their main rivals are Fulham. And that's because it used to be a big derby in their eyes. That's because when Chelsea weren't a very good team before they got bought by Ibrahimovic, all the glory hunting Chelsea fans weren't around. So Chelsea fans, shush. I don't know why you're joining in today. I really don't know why you're joining in today. But anyway, enough about that little subside rant there. I thought I'd feel a lot better today. I really did think I'd feel a lot better today than I did yesterday. But I feel a whole lot worse. But what I can do on this show is break it down more, not just be shouting and screaming. Now, I'm not going to say I won't be shouting. I'm not going to say I won't get annoyed during this show because it's hard not to get annoyed talking about the shambles at Spurs at the moment. But I'll be able to break it down a little bit more. Yesterday's match review was me saying, oh, it was rubbish, pathetic. And I was right. But I've sat here for a while and I've thought about it. And it's one of those games where we just weren't up for it. We didn't care. None of the players looked like they care. We weren't up for it at all. And no player really stepped up. And this is what really came to cost us. No one had the confidence on our team to play that pass through, to play that through ball, as I say, to find that pass, to take a shot. No one had that confidence. And we just got battered as soon as we conceded. And this has happened all season, right? As soon as we concede a goal, we just fall to pieces. We fall to pieces. It all goes tits up and all of a sudden we're 3-0 down. That's happened 3 times. We've conceded 6 goals now in 90 minutes. The last 45 against Chelsea and the first 45 against Arsenal. And it really isn't good enough. It really isn't good enough. And I didn't touch on who's to blame yesterday. I didn't touch on who's to blame. But today I can. Today I can say it's not just the manager. It's not just the players. It's not just ENIC. It is everyone. It is ENIC. ENIC played their part in yesterday massively. Arguably, they're the biggest reason. The players as well, not stepping up on the pitch. Lazy, pathetic performances. And Nuno set us out in a system that wouldn't work. You know, played the wrong tactics for a North London derby. And look, everyone's to blame. I don't think you can pinpoint one, group of people, whether it be the management, the players, or the owners. I don't think, or even the scouting, I don't think you can say, oh, it's this is the reason we lost yesterday. Because I think on the pitch, the players were lazy. They were absolutely pathetic. They weren't good enough. They were slow. They were sloppy. No one really gave an effort, like I said a second ago. But at the same time, it could be argued that's the way they were set out. That's the way they were set out to play pragmatic defensive football by our coach, which definitely didn't work. And it could be argued that Daniel Levy was the reason we have Nuno, because he couldn't bring in the first 5 managers we wanted. Everyone is to blame, right? Everyone is to blame. But I'll start off with the players. No Spurs player yesterday can come off that pitch and say that they had a good performance. Not one of them can. Not one Spurs player can, hold their head up high and say, actually, you here, grow up, get on with it. It's a derby. You get up for it, because no one was up for it. You concede a couple goals in a derby. You want someone to give the rest of the players a right bollocking. You want someone to step up. Someone like Harry Kane, and this is something I want to touch on again. Harry Kane does not care what you want the Harry Kane to do. What you want the Heung-min Son to do is when we concede that second goal, shout at those players, say, what are you doing, Eric Dyer? You're pathetic. Get on with it. Come on, let's go and win it. So I know you've got it in you. But what does he do? Stand around. Stand around like a statue and just let it happen. We concede the goal. Oh, we conceded another goal. Oh, it's like, grow up. They're like a bunch of 5-year-olds who throw their toys out the pram. They're so greedy. They are so greedy and selfish and used to being privileged when they don't deserve to be. They do not deserve to be privileged at all after a pathetic performance like that yesterday. It really isn't good enough. And you look at those players, like I said a second ago, we can see those goals. You want them all to be talking to each other. You want the players to be communicating. These players do not want Nuno at the club. It's obvious to me. I'm not going to say Nuno's lost the dressing room, because I'm just going to say he lost it before he even arrived because of ENIC. ENIC are the overall reason why everything's happened. The players aren't performing to the standards because they don't have a manager, in my opinion, who's going to play the football we want him to and who's out of his depth. And the reason we have that manager is because of ENIC, because they couldn't get their first 5 managers. And not because the managers didn't want to come to the club. Fonseca wanted to come to the club. Conte wanted to come to the club. Pochettino wanted to come to the club. But we made it awkward. ENIC made it awkward. Do not see how they are the biggest part to blame. And any Spurs fan who's not going to go to that protest, any Spurs fan who still believes ENIC are good owners, you should hang your head in shame. You should really hang your head in shame. It's been going on for too long, and some of this fan base, some of these fans accept mediocrity. They just want us to be, oh, Spurs, come on, you Spurs, get up for it every match day, and then just get blown out the water. The reason we are so far behind other teams is because of ENIC. They are so focused on the boxing and the stadium and the business deals and putting more money in their already loaded pockets than they are investing some of it in the club that they own. They've almost forgotten this weekend, I reckon, that they own Spurs, because Joe Lewis and Daniel Levy have been rolling in the Benjamins, absolutely loving life. Oh, Joe Lewis, oh man, did the Usyk beat Joshua, or did the Arsenal beat the Spurs? Oh man, I got loads of money though. It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating with Joe Lewis and Daniel Levy, because they do not care. They are more bothered about putting more money into their pockets and setting venues up, concerts, NFL and boxing. That we've taken our eye off the ball, quite literally. We've taken our eye off the pitch. We've forgotten that it's a football stadium. It's not called well, it is an NFL stadium, and that's another big problem. But it's not called the boxing stadium. It's not called the Alexander Usyk stadium. It's not called the Lady Gaga stadium, is it? It's called the Tottenham Hotspur stadium. We've forgotten that we are a football club. We have no identity under these guys. No identity. Just needlessly being awkward during negotiations. And that's why every single manager has fell flat. Because no manager that's come to this club has been invested in. No manager has been backed. No one. It all stems from them mainly. They are the biggest problem. Now, I'm not saying the players aren't accountable, because the players were pathetic yesterday. Some of those players, can do a lot better than that. And Nuno at the same time, his tactics, not good enough yesterday at all. Our style of play, not good enough. But it does all ultimately stem from ENIC. All ultimately stems from ENIC. The reason we are not outside the Europa Conference League, the reason we are in the bleeding Conference League and not in the Champions League like we were years ago, is because of them. We are nowhere near the Liverpools, the Cities, the Chelseas. We were challenging with them 2 years ago in the top 4. Now we won't challenge with them for another 10 to 15 years because they are miles ahead of us. We're still investing in our team. They're investing in their squad. They've got 17, 18 first team starters who are absolute class, right? And this is why we are so far behind those teams. You look at Manchester United, right? Cavani's injured, or Ronaldo's injured. Okay, you bring on Cavani. Rashford's injured, you've got Greenwood. Or Rashford's injured, you've got Lingard. Take off Harry Maguire, you've got Eric Bailly, Lindelof. Some good players who you can bring off, especially in their midfield as well. they've got a great squad depth. You look at Chelsea as well, you know, Werner gets injured. Okay, bring in Havertz, or Pulisic gets injured, or Pulisic comes off, or you need someone to make an impact. Bring on Ziyech, bring on Mount. They have got an unbelievable squad depth, those top 4 teams. City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and I nearly said Arsenal. They're nowhere near it. But Liverpool, Chelsea, City and United, they've got a brilliant squad depth because they've invested. Who are we going to bring on if we need an impact player? What happens if Kane gets injured? Do we bring Dane Scarlett into the team, a 17-year-old, and put that amount of pressure on him? What happens with our injuries? Who's going to make an impact off the bench for us? Because we don't have the Ronaldos or the Cavani's that United do. We've got the Harry Winkses and Davidson bleeding Sanchez's. And it shows how far we are from those teams. How far away we are from those teams. It's absolutely pathetic. They're investing in their teams. I mean, they're investing in their squads. We're investing in their teams. And it goes to show how we are miles behind them. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching this video. It's not been a very enjoyable one talking about Spurs. But hopefully we can get some confidence doing it. At least talk about a couple wins with Villa on Sunday and this Thursday game. But there you go. That's your lot. That is your lot. Thank you for watching this video. If you're new here, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Hit the like button as well. And yeah, take care. All the best. Enoch out.